And our picture not only encapsulates this quest, but expresses in striking visual form 3 ideas that stand at the very heart of the subject. The first is that good and bad government profoundly affect the quality of human lives. Lorenzetti shows us how the rule of justice and the other virtues allows ordinary people to work, trade, hunt, dance, and generally do all those things that enrich human existence. While on the other side of the picture, tyranny breeds poverty and death. So, that is the first idea. It really makes a difference to our lives whether we are governed well or badly. We cannot turn our back on politics, retreat into private life, and imagine that the way we are governed will not have profound effects on our personal happiness. The second idea is that the form our government takes is not predetermined. We have a choice to make. Why, after all, was the mural painted in the first place? It was painted in the Sala dei Nove, the Room of the Nine, and these 9 were the rotating council of 9 wealthy merchants who ruled the city in the first half of the 14th century. So, it served not only to remind these men of their responsibilities to the people of Siena, but also as a celebration of the republican form of government that had been established there, at a time of considerable political turmoil in many of the Italian cities. The portrayal of evil government was not just an academic exercise. It was a reminder of what might happen if the rulers of the city failed in their duty to the people, or if the people failed in their duty to keep a watchful eye on their representatives. The third idea is that we can know what distinguishes good government from bad. We can trace the effects of different forms of government, and we can learn what qualities go to make up the best form of government. In other words, there is such a thing as political knowledge. Lorenzetti's frescoes bear all the marks of this idea. As we have seen, the virtuous ruler is shown surrounded by figures representing the qualities that, according to the political philosophy of the age, characterized good government. The frescoes are meant to be instructive. They are meant to teach both rulers and citizens how to achieve the kind of life that they wanted. And this presupposes, as Lorenzetti surely believed, that we can know how this is to be done. Should we believe the message of the frescoes, however? Are the claims they implicitly make actually true? Does it really make a difference to our lives what kind of government we have? Do we have any choice in the matter? Or is the form of our government something over which we have no control? And can we know what makes one form of government better than another? These are some of the big questions that political philosophers ask, as well as many smaller ones. But before trying to answer them, I need to add a few more words of explanation. When talking about government here, I mean something much broader than the government of the day, the group of people in authority in any society at a particular moment. Indeed, I mean something broader than the state, the political institutions through which authority is exercised, such as the cabinet of ministers, parliament, courts of law, police, armed forces, and so forth. I mean the whole body of rules, practices, and institutions under whose guidance we live together in societies. That human beings need to cooperate with one another, to know who can do what with whom, who owns which parts of the material world, what happens if somebody breaks the rules, and so forth, we can perhaps take for granted here. But we cannot yet take it for granted that they must have a state to solve these problems. As we shall see in the next chapter, one central issue in political philosophy is why we need states, or, more generally, political authority, in the first place, and we need to engage with the anarchist argument that societies can perfectly well govern themselves without it. So, for the time being, I want to leave it an open question whether good government requires having a state, or a government in the conventional sense at all. Another question that will remain open until the last chapter of the book is whether there should be just one government